I hadn't planned to open up publicly about the intrusive thoughts that are going on in my mind, because really they're very shocking and very confusing as well. I've opened up to some people that are close to me, and this is really hard for me to do. I'm a very open person, but this is difficult. I've previously shared in videos about my chronic illness crash and major setback. I've shared about the withdrawals that I've suffered, which have been horrific beyond measure, the things they've done to my brain. I've shared about the insomnia, going 5 weeks of 1 hour a night sleep while going through all of this other stuff and being very limited because of my health. And I've also alluded to the thoughts that have been going on in my mind, and I want to open up and tell you exactly what's been happening. The reasons that I've decided to do this is because, number one, it might help someone out there to not feel alone. It might give encouragement to someone else who is going through something, and if it can even help one person in this, then it's something good. Another reason as well that I really want to open up about this is because this will help people to know and to understand the place that I'm ministering out of as I make videos going forward. I think sometimes it's very hard to relate to what someone's going through, or to think that maybe they don't understand the extent of a struggle or difficulty or the circumstances of life. But when I share this with you, I think the transparency is going to be very helpful in people knowing that the place that I'm ministering out of is not a place that is easy at all, but it's very difficult. With the withdrawals that are going on, my brain just does not feel right at all. My extreme limitations because of my illness, which allow me to not be distracted most of the day, and also the thoughts that are going on in my mind. Before I share those thoughts, there's a question that I have to ask myself, and that each one of us will find we'll have to ask ourselves at some point. There can be times when life seems pointless in terms of how we perceive the world, not in terms of the fact that we always have a purpose in God. And it's at those times that we have to ask ourselves, will I continue to seek God? And will I continue to be faithful in the midst of extreme difficulty and adversity, whether that means in ministry or whether that means simply coming before God and trusting Him and doing the little things that we can do well, whether it's washing the dishes or whatever it might be. I know some people watching are very, very limited, as I have been. So what happened to me with these thoughts is, it started when the withdrawals happened, the post-acute withdrawals. Something happened to my brain. I was in a state of complete overwhelm. Every bit of positive emotion and hope and everything that characterizes the person that I have been for so long, I felt was stripped of me. I stopped sleeping, and I also developed these thoughts. And these are thoughts which have distressed my mind. They have brought me so much distress and have become an inescapable prison for the past 2.5 months. And it's so hard to see a way out. I've been through anxieties before when I've had things happen with my illness, and I've overcome it so well that I've developed such a clear mind that every day was just so full of peace and joy. And I've spoken about this, and I've been honest about that, and now I need to be honest about this. So what happened was, my mind was starting to go really weird just before I'd crashed with the post-acute withdrawals. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, when people were talking around me, I started counting. And I can't explain this, it's not rational at all. When someone would talk, I would count 1. When someone else would talk, I would count 2. Then the next person would talk, I would count 3. And then if I lost count, I would start all over again. But it seems like something so silly and novel, but the dread and the anxiety that it fueled around me in the state that I was in, it just kick-started something in my brain which has really just been so overwhelming for me. And when I'm trying not to count, I get anxious because I know I'm trying not to count. And it feels like every conversation, every time I'm hearing someone talk around me, or if it's on the radio or YouTube or in person, I am just fueled with this anxiety which has just completely taken over me, and it's just not rational whatsoever. It makes no sense. But I'm stuck in it right now, and I'm struggling to see a way out. And obviously my brain is not working properly as well because of the withdrawals on top of it. I get to a place where I will persist, and I will come before God, and I will renew my mind, and I will renew the hope and start again. And then it just comes like a tsunami and just takes me over, and I think all sense of normality just seems to have deserted me. And because conversations are one thing that is usually an escape from people's issues and problems, and something that is so enjoyable, it has just become a stress. And I've tried to surrender it. I've tried to let it go, tried to not let it bother me. I just can't seem to find a way out right now. And I'm continuing to do the right things and to trust God. And like I said, the question then becomes, what do I do? There's times that I've brought myself to the time of prayer when I have nothing in me, no emotion in me, no motivation in me. And I've just said, I just need to come before God. And then there are other times when I've neglected to do so, but I'm just coming before God right now. I'm saying, God, I don't understand this. I never imagined anything like this happening. This is just crazy. Just help me. And I need to surrender, and I need answers that I don't have. And I want to continue to seek Him despite how I'm feeling. It's hard to communicate in this video just how much despair I've been in because of this. And if you haven't been through this, it's impossible to understand. Maybe some of you have been through something similar. But it's like this feeling of overwhelm and anxiety and despair, an inescapable place with a big barrier between my life that I was living and the life that I'm living now. So friends, this is me opening up. And as my health increases, which it has a little bit, as it increases, and hopefully I can get back to getting my treatments with the GoFundMe money, I want to be able to minister to you. I've been away from the channel for a long time because my health has been very, very bad. If I even have the opportunity to be able to come before you in a 5-minute video, unedited, and just speak truth, and that ministers to people, then I want to be faithful to that. Even if I don't feel like doing it, even if I just want to just isolate myself and just try to forget about what is going on, I want to be faithful. And just know, friends, that I'm coming before God, and sometimes for shorter periods of time, sometimes for longer periods of time, an hour and a half. One night was a couple of hours. Other times it might be a half hour. A lot of times an hour. And I'm just meditating on scriptures right now. And I'm just resting in God. And I pray that anything that He gives to me, any truths that are imparted to me, I can communicate to you, and that you would be blessed. I just want to be faithful in my relationship with God and in the ministry that I've been called to. I'm not going to force myself to minister when I feel called to pull back, but I also don't want to pull back when I feel called to minister. And that's where I'm at right now, friends. And I pray that anything that I feel led by God to communicate would be a blessing to you. Please continue to keep me in your prayers. And I pray that there would be a breakthrough here, that victory would come. And I look forward to talking to you soon. God bless you.